In the first year of President Trump's administration, the role of late-night TV comedians has changed dramatically, perhaps permanently. It's almost impossible to watch even 5 minutes of a show nowadays without some mention of politics. Since February, I've written Best of Late Night, a daily column highlighting standout moments from the weeknight talk shows. In a year defined by Mr. Trump's unorthodox presidency, each host has seemed to build a personal approach to handling him. On The Late Show, Stephen Colbert, no stranger to political satire, has tended to focus on the Russia scandal, even taping a week of shows in Russia last summer. Jimmy Kimmel, once a rather apolitical figure, cloaked himself in activist garb, pushing for and against legislation in a way that forebears like Johnny Carson and Jay Leno wouldn't have imagined. Even Jimmy Fallon, whose stage persona remains sunny and easygoing, often takes on politics, mostly by emphasizing the silliness not the severity of what unfolds in Washington. The hosts didn't abandon broader cultural concerns, either, confronting topics like the airline industry and the number Meta movement. Here's your year-end Best of Late Night, with some of the funniest quips and most memorable moments. Mr. Colbert has tracked the Russia investigation more assiduously than any other host. When the fired FBI Director James Comey testified before Congress in June, Mr. Colbert gleefully pointed out that Mr. Comey had taken close notes on his conversations with Mr. Trump, for fear that the president might mischaracterize what had been said. Mr. Trump stayed rather quiet on the topic of late-night shows, even as he became their idée fixe. But he couldn't help attacking Mr. Colbert in May. Mr. Colbert, whose ratings ticked up when he started consistently taking on Mr. Trump about a year ago, welcomed the feud. Mr. Trump has been less restrained about criticizing journalists, and late-night hosts often used their soapbox to push back against his jabs at the news media's credibility. On The Daily Show, Trevor Noah expressed dismay that Mr. Trump's incendiary words still prove influential. Samantha Bee's Full Frontal airs once a week, on Wednesdays, giving her time to prepare more in-depth pieces. In October, she presented an examination of Scott Pruitt, the E.P.A.'s administrator and a longtime foe of environmental regulation. Ms. B also kept up a line of attack against accused sexual harassers and abusers. Many male late-night hosts seemed a bit flat-footed as the number Meta movement gathered steam, but Ms. B took on Harvey Weinstein ferociously, and never let up. By late November, when Charlie Rose was fired by CBS, Ms. B's counterparts were reacting more swiftly. No host is more emblematic of late-night TV's evolution over the past year than Mr. Kimmel. A former host of The Man Show and an exponent of tawdry humor, he once seemed unlikely to become a liberal darling. But since May, when he revealed that his newborn son suffered from a heart condition and urged Congress to protect the Affordable Care Act, his diatribes on topics from health care bills to gun control have provided some of late night's most discussed moments. There have been plenty of non-political heels for hosts to snipe at this year, too. The airline industry came in for a drubbing, especially after passengers were involuntarily removed from United and Delta flights in the spring.